In politics, guys, it's for you to be a good politician. I feel like you have to. It's almost like you cannot bring your full brain capacity into politics. You will find yourself in a space where you need to deny facts as not being facts. You need to act stupid in some things because maybe they're not aligned to your politics at that time. As far as the mayoral candidates for Joburg, to be honest, I think Helen Zilla has the profile. But then Helen Zilla politically, my man, like her politically, has stance on things. Yeah, man, her stance on things is just not promising for me. Is Israel committing suicide in Gaza? It's that political alignment where you have to deny certain facts so that things are framed in a way that suits your political position, your party position, your party mandate, your party gets paid. That's the answer that she gave. It's a genocide. There's just no other way now to define what is happening there. Like, what else are you arguing? Which other body are you using as an argument? When Helen looks at apartheid, for the most part, as much as she had admitted of it being a cruel system and what's not, and crime against humanity, but she tends to sort of like romanticize apartheid. Look at what the good benefits that apartheid did. Look at what apartheid built for us and stuff like that. People who look at that are in denial of the forced labor, for example, that was involved with people actually being able to accomplish things. Taking Malema to prison will make him bigger. It's just the same thing in America when they shot Trump too. Last time they did something like this, that man went to prison and he came back and became a president of South Africa. And then the passing of Nasim Turtle. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's it. As I'm preparing actually to do this episode, as I'm preparing, working out sound and doing the camera and what's not, I don't know, it's just in my thoughts, and I'm thinking, in politics, guys, it's for you to be a good politician. I feel like you have to. It's almost like you cannot bring your full brain capacity into politics because you will find yourself in a space where you need to deny facts as not being facts. Like, you need to act stupid in some things because maybe they're not aligned to your politics at that time. Like, it's so, in politics, it's a game of clowns. Politics is a game of clowns, bro. Like, you need to be able to be the better clown. That's how it feels like to me. It's like you need to be able to be a better clown when you are being asked to be one, or the situation requires you to be one, to be like a better clown. It's a game of fools, bro. It's a cruel game, bro, politics. Like, people deny things, like obvious things, like deny it, bro. You can sit there, pretend like something is not happening or did not happen. It's crazy, bro, in politics. You can't just bring your full brain capacity to politics, dog. It's tough, dog. It's a tough game, this thing, bro. Hey, I would never work out, bro, in politics. It's clear for me. I would never work out in politics, bro. Like, I don't think I can be able to pretend like how other people are able to, or how other people are able to just lie or just not talk when things are not aligning to your political position or your party's political position, for that matter. That's how I feel. I don't think I'll be a good one, I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like I will make my political party lose too, because I will say things as they are or as I feel about circumstances. Like, I will say things even if things are against my own political party. I would say them. Like, I feel like I just don't have it in me to pretend or to just fucking lie, like obviously lie with something that everyone sees. This comes with what happened actually with Helen Zilla. I'm sure everyone has seen that. Okay, I need to outline this first as I go to these points. as far as the mayoral candidates for Joburg, to be honest, I think Helen Zilla has the profile. She has the history. She just has the work experience too to do that. We're still gonna dive into some of that. Like we're gonna talk about that. That's where I stand when in regards to this. But then Helen Zilla politically, my man, like her politically, her stance on things. Yeah, man, her stance on things is just not promising for me, and has been like that for some time. And I feel like this Gaza question just kind of show exactly what I meant about her stance or political position in situation. You know, her run away from the question that she was being asked, basically, she was asked in both, I think it was on TV by Oli, and she was also asked by in SMWX. This is where I saw this question coming out, like two times. When Caesar asked her the second time, and her stance around that basically it's like, so it's a political alignment. Rather, I don't think that it's her own answer. It's like political alignment where you have to deny certain facts so that things are framed in a way that suits your political position or your party position, your party mandate, or where your party gets paid. You know, that's the answer that she gave to this question. Because when I'm looking at the question is Israel committing suicide in Gaza? Okay. Let's say I want to answer this as politically correct as possible, and also at the same time I want to answer the question with maybe support in terms of trying to avoid maybe a confirmation bias of some sort or whatsoever. Like, I'm trying to be fair to all parties involved, whether you're looking at people in Palestine or you're looking at people in Israel, Hamas, and the Israeli government, whatever you want to look at. Bro, like, I feel like this debate is gone now. Like, everybody, like anything of facts that is not aligned to Hamas, and I'm talking about independent bodies, everyone, the United Nations, everyone that is supposed to declare something as genocide or not has already declared it as genocide. Like, you look at people who are Americans even, right? I need to be careful when I say Americans, because also, I mean, you look at America politically, they are clearly aligned. But when you're looking aligned with Israel, but when you're looking at it from lawmakers' points of view, or the overall like feel in terms of the climate of the people, the society, the social feel, it's a genocide. There's just no other way now to define what is happening there. Like, what else are you arguing? Which other body are you using as an argument to say it's not a genocide? Even scholars in Israel have deemed it a genocide. Even they've started to accept that it's a genocide. Like, it is a genocide. The only thing they are doing now is to justify the genocidal acts on Gazan people. So to sit there and pretend like it's not my man. And she says this has nothing to do with her mayoral candidates, and bro, guys, how any political question like that, as someone who's running for mayor, how it touches you is that your position in Gaza says a lot about you in regards to your sense of empathy, right? Because what does it mean if you are in the position of power now and you are in a mayoral position to determine whether a poor community is going to have electricity and water for the next 2 weeks or not? You are in that position. You have the power to determine that. What are you going to decide? You see, that says a lot about you in regards to that. Because this is a problem of just humanity and care, just basic care and empathy for humanity. It's literally a matter of moral integrity, moral judgments, you know, in a position of power. You know, to be able to articulate yourself and be able to see that this is genocide and be able to state this is genocide, it's problematic, bruh, if you're unable to. Because to be able to say that, it says a lot about your moral judgment, your moral capacity, your empathy, right? It says a lot about humanity, where you stand with care and humanity. It says a lot about you. But again, how could we be surprised? Because for some time, what Helen did when she did that, it's almost like maybe this is also a confirmation bias on my side in a sense, because it's almost like she just confirmed the feel that I always had with her, where she talks about apartheid, for an example. When Helen looks at apartheid, for the most part, as much as she had admitted of it being a cruel system and what's not, and crime against humanity, but she tend to sort of like romanticize apartheid, to look at it from, look at the infrastructure that apartheid did. Like, people who look at apartheid as look at what the good benefits that apartheid did, look at what apartheid built for us and stuff like that. People who look at that are in denial of the forced labor, for example, that was involved with people actually being able to accomplish that. People being worked for less wages, abuse, and it's almost like they are in denial with the fact of how did these infrastructures and how did the economy of apartheid function as a result of the system. They're in denial with that, So it's like someone basically celebrating blood diamonds. That's my husband robbed someone and he bought me the diamonds. Those diamonds were taken from another woman or another person by force, and you are celebrating the love of your husband with the blood and suffering of someone for you to be able to have that. And that's what Helen Zilla, it does to me. She's like an apartheid denier type of person. So I'm not really that surprised the fact that she's unable to actually outrightly say there's a genocide in Gaza. So basically the characterization of genocide as significant word, Helen Zilla characterized genocide as a very big word. Like, that's Trump-like, to say things like that, genocide is a big word. What do you mean? Like, literally everyone is saying this is a genocide. That's characterization, man. But where do I stand about her as the mayor? I think Helen Zilla has all the... I guess the CV is correct. She has the political history. She has the history also in doing this almost something similar in Cape Town. So she has that in her support. So many things are on her side in regards to that. So in a certain extent, maybe I can give her that as a pass in regards to that point. I think she should be a mayor of Joburg, but I will have a problem with her moral integrity or moral judgment with the decisions she's going to be taking, especially towards poor people in that area. I have a problem with that. And she avoided to call this a genocide, like so much. So, and she cited that DA as, because this is another thing about DA. DA is so aligned to and wanting to take South Africa towards the worst. That's what they stand for. And this was just, that thing rubbed me off the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie to you. Also, I'm careful, guys, about also her mayoral candidates. As much as I believe that Helen Zilla, I think, is a suited candidate with her political prowess and just, abilities, I would still be careful, because also Cape Town works, but Cape Town doesn't work for everyone. Cape Town works for the haves, for the people who can afford. Cape Town can work for someone who has money. Cape Town, for me, for an example, if I wanted to live in Cape Town, I feel like it might work for me, but I can afford. I'm in a higher ranking in terms of social standing financially, but it doesn't work for a poor person, so you need to be considerate of that. That's how does Cape Town work? Cape Town is functioning because people from overseas are buying houses in Cape Town, and then they're able to pay this rate, and they're able, because there's this competition for housing in Cape Town, then people from overseas buying also homes in Cape Town. This then elevates the price and the price of the housing in Cape Town, and just the overall money that people have to pay, basically, whether you're looking at utilities or you're just looking at just general taxation in buying their house. Whatever way you are looking at, Cape Town works for the people who have. It doesn't work for people in Khayelitsha and what's not, those places whereby people are struggling there. It doesn't work for someone in the Cape Flats. You see, Cape Town doesn't work for someone in the Cape Flats. It works for someone who is doing great and they're successful. They live there by the Table Mountains. This works for those people. You see, so this is a huge difference in these two. So yeah, there's just so much in that I think needs to be looked at. Anyway, elephants in a room. Ice boil. We are back. Yeah, it's just this was on top of my head because I was thinking of how stupid and cruel politics is. You have to deny things that are facts, pretend to be stupid. You can't just be fully honest in politics about where you stand in regards to issues. You cannot. Yeah, it's just it's such a cruel system actually to have to deal with when I look at it. Yeah, politics is crazy, man. But anyway, Malema. Yo, I'm Malema, bro. When I think about Malema, right now I'm about to say things that I feel like people who follow my channel or watch me, they will know where I stand with about Malema. Like, I love the guy. I think he has a great potential to be a good leader. Has some mistakes and things that I also disagree with actually in his political position. I have so many disagreements in his political position, but yeah, man, when it comes to the case thing that Malema is having, let's just look at it. So the toy gun defense versus the reckless endangerment verdict that Malema got. So Malema claimed the Assad's rifle he was filmed firing at a massive 2018 rally was mere just toy gun or a stage prop. Yes. So, which was a core part of the defense strategy to say the gun that he used was a toy gun. Okay, guys, we need to be honest. That's not a toy gun. We can, if we were to argue other things, we should be arguing for Malema that he deserved a chance. He deserved not to be taken to jail. Yes, this was negligence, this was what, but he deserved those chances. We can argue that. But to say it's a toy gun and actually because maybe you support the party and whatnot, and then you have to, talks to exactly the point I was making about Helen Zilla, whereby you have to pretend that reality as you experience it or as you see it and facts are not like facts. They're something else other than what they are, because it's actual facts, man. Like, it's so crazy to say that's a toy gun, but he had to say and do whatever he had to do, I guess, to try and defend himself, But the court rejected this claim, obviously, finding him guilty of 5 serious offenses, including unlawful possession and reckless endangerment of 20,000 people present in the stadium. Now, the only small issue that these people would have actually pursuing this, last time they did this type of thing to go for someone who is politically, basically, like politically opposed to them, I'm talking about your AFI Forum, your DAs and them, those parties. Last time they did something like this, that man went to prison and he came back and became a president of South Africa. I think arresting Malema for something that is not maybe like corruption related, this is towards political relation rather than maybe corruption or him committing an actual like crime that has nothing to do with politics. I think they just, they're gonna make him. I feel like taking Malema to jail will make him bigger. It will just make his character bigger. Taking Malema to prison will make him bigger. I just foresee a day where he comes out. Let's say you take Malema, you arrest him for what? 10 years, 7 years, whatever the years will be. I just see the days he comes out. You're going to have problems. Because I think them pursuing him like this and taking him to jail for things that are political related, I think this is going to also almost put a stamp on his political position in regards to him being wanted, him being spoken about like that in the White House. It's going to put a stamp on him as the one. taking Malema to prison will put a stamp on him as the one, and it's going to put a stamp on the thing that he has been saying about the system, about him being wanted by the people who run the country, by the business people in South Africa. It will literally make true everything that he says. It will just factualize everything that he says, whether he was wrong or right, it doesn't matter. You take him to jail, you will make him bigger. That's how I feel about this. You know, that's how I feel about taking Malema to prison. Now, in my own perspective, I feel Malema is guilty. That's how I feel. I feel Malema is guilty. I support the guy, I love the guy, but as far as the facts are concerned and what he did, my man, he is guilty, you know, from what he did. You know, I feel like there's just so much opportunity, though, for him to defend himself. Because also, in the judgment, the idea that when the judge makes the judgment, she takes out the security that hands him the gun. That just blew my mind. I do not understand that. Someone can give me a gun to commit a crime, right? Because this is a crime, right? Someone hands me the gun to commit a crime, and I give them back the gun that I've committed the crime with, in full view of camera. Everyone sees this happening. The person that gave me the gun is excused from the crime. Like, because that person knowingly gave Malema the gun with the purpose of him doing what he did with the gun. That's the court is deeming unlawful. But then they do not charge the other person who is in... Like, it doesn't make sense. The person who's participating in a crime with him, if this is a crime, as you are saying it is. Yeah, there's just so many problems with that. They're gonna have issues, my man. I think in that there is a chance for his defense. To me, that doesn't make sense to me. That just doesn't. I tried to understand, try to search and as to why that would happen. I still don't understand. I do not see the point as to how does Malema get charged with the crime and the guy doesn't get charged with the crime, the one who gave him the gun. Yeah, I don't know. But them taking Malema, as I said, for me, it will backfire over a period of time. So the potential constitutional bar to parliamentary saviors. Now the problems and issues that EFF might face with this going forward. His conviction carries the risk of a sentence greater than 12 months imprisonment without the option of a fine, which is a constitutional threshold. If this sentence is handed down, Malema would legally be forced to vacate his seat and would be unable to represent the EFF in Parliament, triggering a major political crisis for the party. Yeah, EFF will be in trouble if Malema gets sentenced for this. Honestly, it will be in trouble, but I feel like it will depend on how does he get sentenced. Does he get sentenced in the sense that he goes to prison, maybe serve some time, or does he get sentenced in a sense that which I think would happen. I think this is much more likely to happen, like whether he's maybe the time to be suspended so that he doesn't go to jail, or maybe he's like arrested in house arrest. I don't know. But if he goes to jail, I think it's just gonna make his profile bigger. It's gonna just make even the people that were not even aligned with the EFF to actually believe, especially in the narrative of the system being against anyone who stands on it to try and challenge it. So it's gonna be more on that, and Malema will just come out as a bigger guy. That's how I feel. And then his defense too, some of the things that he said was weaponizing the racist, also claimed to frame the prosecution. Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought this was just far-fetched for me. I just don't want to go too much into that. I don't think the judgments by any stretch of the imagination is actually racist. Like, I just don't see the race implication to that. Yeah, I struggle to see that, actually, because it says the judgments are racist, and following the guilty vindication in the firearm case, Malema immediately framed the outcome as being the result of a racist judicial system and the political attack. of course. I see that. So he used, because they've been looking for him. I mean, for the singing of the song, right? For an example, right? They've been looking for him. So political attack, of course, politics is involved. That's why I'm saying they are also making a mistake with that to try and like convict him on the basis of politics. I think, yeah, that's in that sense, yeah. He used the acquittal of his white co-accused on the most severe charges to argue he was being unfairly targeted, turning a criminal case into a powerful political rally cry against the state. Yeah, I agree with him on that point. It doesn't make sense. The guy who gave him the gun is acquitted for they say, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to go there. That just doesn't make sense. So the continuous legal battle over hate speech and revolutionary rhetoric. Malema remains basically in multiple and high stakes legal challenges, obviously primarily from the AFI Forum. That's why I say the idea also that the people who are pursuing these cases and who are trying to find him guilty, taking him to court and this is AFI Forum. That also says a lot also, because also this brings up this question around the land, because it seems like Malema is persuaded so much to be taken to jail through all these means, because he's one person and the EFF, but him as a leader of the EFF, he's one person who is literally at the top of the land question. He's pushing it, and EFF has been standing on the land question forever. As much as this is not as big anymore, like how they used to be, and not as relevant to the land question is not hitting the same, but he is one question, like one party, and one leader that has stood in the land question. So this also ties that now, because the people who are pursuing him to go to prison is AFI Forum, and these are the people who are against anything that touches land reforms. Because they want to maintain the status quo. They want to keep the stolen land, whether they stole. They want to keep that. They want to keep everything as it is. They do not want to disturb anything that works against them and their land, that the stolen land that they have, or inherited land that that was stolen by their ancestors. They don't want anything to do with that. So I think the police arresting Malema will connect all these type of things, and it's just not. I don't think anyone is gonna win. Actually, no one is gonna enjoy that. I don't think so. Because even if South Africa doesn't burn because he's arrested, but the idea of him to going to prison, I can see songs being written about him. Just like I can see this whole picture. He's gonna become a bigger person over a period of time if he's no longer there and people know he's in prison. And he's the person that has been so strong about. He's gonna become bigger, bro. I'm telling you. It's just the same thing in America when they shot Trump too. Doing that to a political opposition, it makes them bigger, because it makes the point that they are making bigger. People see that the person stands for something that bothers you. Actually, somehow something is correct about them. That's why you have to use those means to take them out. I just think this just gonna backfire for them, man. When it comes to that, taking Malema to prison, bro, it's just not gonna fly, bro. That is not gonna fly, my man. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, I need to cut off right now. I need to move on to something else. Let's pause it here. Okay, sound wise, yeah, check, back on. Yeah, so anyway, that's all I have to say in regards to Malema. Also, it says a lot actually when you look at essay. I feel like it also says a lot about our like as a country, like our position. Like, look at Kenny for an example. Why is it that you would have a situation whereby, like in the country, in South Africa, if you have a conviction or criminal record and stuff like that, we know, like any other country, how hard it is for that person to get a job. If they have a criminal conviction or like anything, you have to make sure that you deal with your criminal record. When you have a criminal record, you can't go anywhere in life. With a criminal record, we know how hard life is. But how come that you have someone in a position like Kenny, for an example, with a criminal record? Like, it says a lot about the country, bro. The position of the country, our priorities as a country. It says a lot about us when you look at that. It says a lot. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase that. You know, it's just so much happening in South Africa right now. It's hard to even pinpoint and put your mind in one thing because of so much is happening. You have criminals being accused and like going, it doesn't matter. Like Kenny Nene is coming back and is going to have a position and he's been sworn into a political position. Right? A position that is important to the community. But you could be a teacher. You're looking for a job as a teacher, a job as a nurse. Your criminal record will prevent you from getting those jobs. But a politician can get a good job and gets basically a big salary, you know, despite their criminal history. It says a lot. Anyway, it's too much, bro. And then the passing of Nazi Mteto. Oh my goodness. Yes. It's the passing of Nazi Mteto, we have, like, to be honest with you, this is why, you know how I do my channel is, I like to stay away from breaking news and what's not, you know. I've been trying to do that. I don't want to be a breaking news. I want to be someone that comes after things have happened and just try to look at where we are. Like, after everything has happened, I watch everyone has their views and opinions. I watch, I sit, I look, I wait for the facts, wait for the information to come out. I relax. I'm not in the breaking news type of situation. You know, and I didn't want to touch this Nazi Mteto thing, but my man, bro, there's just so much happening in SA. I feel like when I listened to the Nazi Mteto incident, when I tried to follow, how did he die? For an example, suicide in Paris. I just don't buy it, you know. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it, bro. All of a sudden, he's accused by Mkwanazi in the commission, and everyone obviously is waiting to see what's up with him. And now we even hear more from Mkwanazi now in Parliament in regards to what Mteto was involved with. The security cluster, for an example, built a wall in his house as alleged by Mkwanazi, is that so that they can have control over him. That's why they built that high wall, the burial in his house, so that they can have control over him. They'd be able to loot money off the security team without anyone, the state security money, without anyone interfering, because he's benefited by them building him something too. He has benefited, so then is not in any position to stand or say anything against them. That's what is alleged by Mkwanazi. And then all of a sudden the guy is mysteriously like committing suicide in Paris. Mind you, in Paris. He kills himself in Paris. Out of all places, there's just something fishy there. We still need more information to that. That's why I'm saying that's why I just try by all means to stay away from such things, you know, from like breaking news type of stuff. So, but I think there should be more investigations. And also, if South Africa is serious as a country, we should be negotiating with France to be sending our own private investigators. Or if we're not sending them, hiring private investigators in France to actually be investigating the issue for the country, because this is our ambassador. This guy was there in state business. Everything that has been said so far in regards to him dying in Paris, I don't buy it, bro. I don't buy this idea of him dying in that hotel and killing himself there. I don't buy, bro. I really do not buy. You know, there's just another backhand there that is being played as usual. We've been here before as a country. We've had people dying in the country because now they are wanted to things that's going to connect too many things. You know, too many puzzles will be connected with you, then you mysteriously die and nobody even sees your body. We've had this type of situation. You know, I'm not denying that maybe he passed away and whatnot, but I'm denying the circumstance. The circumstance. And I wouldn't be surprised neither if he's actually alive somewhere too. It's just because this is the country we live in. This is what happens in South Africa. This is the space we are in. This is the territory for South Africans. This is where we play as a country. We live here now. This is our space. You know. With that being said, I wanted to move to the Mkwanazi. Yo. Jesus, Mkwanazi. Mkhwanazi, for me, this is just something personal though. Like, he's such a typical example of what's, like, if it's looked at it correctly or if it's done correctly, what like a Zulu man is. Basically, see, he just carries the essence of being Zulu, actually. Even, I remember in one case where incidents actually where he said, mina izinto Zulu in Zulu nje we don't go around as Zulu people. We deal with the person directly. We don't go around and push, no, you. Even that idea, like, he's just so Zulu, like, and he, yeah, man, I guess time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. But so far, he has done his job. He has done South Africans justice. Talk about the justice system. This man alone, he has done his job. He has served South Africans. It's up to South Africans what they do with all this information. Let's just to take us back, because right now there's just too many things now. I want to refresh to go back to everything that he has told us so far. But there's just, because with the things that are also coming out now that he's in Parliament and testifying in Parliament, it's just too many things. But I want to take us back. I want to take us a bit back. So, for an example, some of the things that Mkhwanazi actually has unveiled in South Africa. One, system collapse threats. Mkhwanazi alleged that a sophisticated criminal syndicate has infiltrated the criminal justice, law enforcement, and intelligence systems, right? Putting them at real risk of total collapse. He says this, there's so many things that are in danger about the country, right? South Africa is just in such a bad space right now that the country will ban if we don't take care of these things. Okay, these are some of the things that Mkhwanazi said to us. Another thing is ministerial interference. He accused the former police minister Senzo Mchunu and deputy national police commissioner Shadrack Sibia of politically interfering with and obstructing sensitive political investigations. Again, these are some of the things that he came up with. Another thing, disbandment of the PKTT. This is a political task team. Okay, so the successful KwaZulu-Natal political killings task team, right, was unlawfully disbanded by the minister, allegedly to protect politically connected individuals from the investigation. The Cats, the Mohosis, and them. There's another scandal now with Mbalula and Mohosi. Like, there's another scandal going on there. They must sort themselves out. Because this guy, basically, Mohosi is saying he is serving and working for the ANC, basically. He's an ANC member. No surprise there. All the criminals are in that party. Who's surprised by him being an ANC member, by the way? Those would be stupid to be surprised by that. All the criminals work for ANC. Like, who's surprised? Mohosi belongs there. Like, he's suitable for the party too. Like, what's the problem here? I wouldn't be surprised by that. Drug cartel syndicates networks. So a police investigation uncovered a drug cartel control syndicate involving a vast network of politicians, law enforcement officials, correctional service, and the judiciary. This one was so terrible too, actually, the fact that South Africa has gotten to that point where we are controlled by drug cartels. Now, by the way, the drug cartels, we're talking about Brazil, now they're bringing Chinese too there in terms of the Shanghai mafias, we're talking about Russian mafia. It's a lot when it comes to these drug cartels too. That's what Mkhwanazi has unveiled. Corruption and collusion. Mkhwanazi alleged corrupt relationships where the former police minister colluded with certain business people, included an accused murderer in the connection with the PKTT disbandment. I mean, why am I mispronouncing disbandment so much? Anyway, inappropriate operational interference. He detailed instances of former police ministers' inappropriate, unethical intervention in operational police matters. That's another thing, by the way. Politicians, ministers should never be even close to political investigations. Never be. They shouldn't be involved. Ministers have to do with policy implications in terms of policing, and that's as far as they go. As to who's going to jail, who's being investigated, they shouldn't even be involved, but they seem to be so involved actually in South African police service. It's a problem, because what happens when you try to arrest police ministers, when you try to arrest politicians? That's why you have this issue. So Mkhwanazi also raised that issue. Misuse of state security information. Mkhwanazi stated that a member of parliament was involved in illegally accessing and mishandling classified crime intelligence information. See? Implication of multiple former police ministers. Mkhwanazi alleged a history of political interference by at least 2 other former police ministers, which included Nathi Mthethwa and Bheki Cele, from the one that we have now. Going further, the Richards Bay minerals pressure, okay? He alleged that the presidency exerted pressure regarding the police deployment at the Richards Bay minerals mining operation. He said this also when he was trying to get the task team to service the area actually around this place. It's almost like this is what they do, politicians, including the president in this case. They would use state resources that are supposed to be serving the people and protecting the state for their own personal gains, right? So just because crime is happening, right, it doesn't mean then because I have access, I should use my power. Crime is happening to businesses of mine, then I use my power to actually affect how crime prevention is happening because the business is mine. Then they should be priority, because I should be treated and get the same protection that everyone is afforded, and investigation should be done in my own businesses, just like how investigations are done to any other businesses. Not that I take priority, because that's what the president was doing in the mineral in Richards Bay, in the minerals minerals area there. Forgot what's the name, was it for mining? I forgot what was the business of the company actually that was doing there, what business the company was doing. But Ramaphosa basically is involved with the business, and then he can use the state security to protect his own personal gains. Do you see what we're dealing with? It's problematic. It's really problematic to be a country and be dealing with such things. It's so problematic for SA. It's just witness intimidation and bail. Basically, he testified that interference led to the murder of a witness, for an example, their withdrawal from the cases too, and the release of high-profile suspects on bail who should have remained basically incarcerated. You see? All political affiliations, politicians getting in and wanting their people to not go to jail and suffer all the consequences like everyone else. To be honest though, if you're talking in terms of Durban side and courts being involved and judiciary being involved, I'm not surprised. I'm not there by the courts in Durban. Pietermaritzburg and Durban, both of them, hey my man, there's so much shenanigans going on there, bro. The police and judiciary are one thing there, dog, against an individual. Like there's almost like no justice for a person, especially if you don't have money, because it needs big bucks and real lawyers to be able to defend yourself. Also when it comes to those people, you know, they can do anything with you. By the way, I will never forget same thing that happened to me around those areas in Pietermaritzburg, where literally we went to a police station and the criminal knew all the police there, high-fiving them, and you know there's nothing's gonna happen to this person. This is their friend, their gang. You are the person that is not known to them. What's gonna happen to your case? Those type of things that side. So I'm not surprised in there. Interference in the high-profile cases, Mdluli, that's one, the one that Mthethwa was involved in. That's what I was saying. So during the time as acting national commissioner, Mkhwanazi alleged that Nathi Mthethwa pressured him to halt the prosecution and disciplinary case against former crime intelligence head Lieutenant General Richard Mdluli. Actually, Mkhwanazi goes in details also in regards to that. That Mthethwa, minister at the time, Nathi Mthethwa, literally was pushing him. It was clear that he hired him thinking he's going to be able to control him so that he'd be able to do his bidding and win his wars, basically, using him as a police officer, by the way, to be able to do these crimes in which he couldn't win with. So it's just too much happening in South Africa. It's just, let me just pause on the political news. That's all I have today in regards to the politics. I want to talk on the lighter notes. I'm going to call JC shortly too, actually, just to talk 10 minutes and hear his views, especially around some international news. There's another issue that actually I saw, which was very sensitive. The Zulu issue, Nizwe Mchunu was not happy with the couple. Basically, what I followed was a couple, a queer couple, to put it in quotes, basically was wearing a Zulu traditional attire in their weddings, and the Zulu people were not happy for the most part. Actually, when I'm saying Zulu people, again in inverted commas, I'm talking about people who are core Zulus and who practice the culture and whatnot. They felt like this is a misrepresentation of them. I spoke to a friend about this, a couple of friends actually who belong to the community. I got mixed reactions actually, but one fair point that I think it should be heard or should be discussed by South Africans or Zulus in this case, for an example, is what do you do? Because right now these people are Zulu too, and they are here. Because are you going to deny them their existence? Because I understand the point of this is offensive actually to the people who practice the culture, people who feel they identify with the culture, they are the core of the culture, and what Zulu represents for them. But I still just have this question of, so queer people don't exist within us now, because I feel like this view looks at Zulu as culturally, historically, rather than as a matter of fact, the now. I'm wondering what is the right way to deal with the now and the circumstances that we are facing with the now. Because there's this tradition, for an example, as someone who's a ngubane but without fingers being cut off, my pinky finger is not cut off, but I'm ngubane. As someone who belongs to those type of situation, I find it very interesting how life is changing. Life is not the same. Look what we are dressing up. We are using laptops, we're using cell phones, everything has changed, but traditions and cultures, we want to keep them the same and not evolving with the time, because I feel like the rules and regulations around traditions and cultures are of a people of a certain time where these things of queer people were not prominent. I think there's such a good maybe talk that we should be having about what's really can they do in this type of case, to what extent can they, because I also had people raising the fact that also people are also wearing attires that they shouldn't, that is only allowed to be worn by people who belong actually ebukhosini, in the king's throne. Basically, you shouldn't, not everyone should be wearing them, but somehow everyone is wearing them, and there's that also problem. That's what has been raised. I thought this was interesting actually as a point to look at, but that's just something that I thought was interesting in my head. I don't really have much say in the whole on this. The reason I don't is because as much as I am Zulu, I don't think I am practicing enough, culturally or traditions in Zulu for me to actually have a good hold or point to make here. And neither am I a member of a queer community, So I think that point also for me kind of takes me back a bit. So let me pause this conversation here. I need to take us through to international news. I want us to talk about international news, but I need to call JC for this one. Okay. Yeah, bro. Actually, just so that you know, you are in the podcast, my man.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
I'm on the road though, so I'm not sure if you're gonna hear me.
I'm able to hear you. You are so clear. Actually, so weird. Yes, how clear you are. You sound very clear than usual.
Okay. Alright, no stress, man.
Yeah, let me just try to adjust my speakers because right now your voice sounds like Ingazutine Besi too high. Oh, where are you going? You're on the road going where?
No, man, I'm just taking my afternoon walk.
Oh, you're just walking by yourself?
Yeah, just walking.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, bro. Like we have 10 minutes basically. I have 10 minutes with you to talk about some things. Just a couple of things, not many things though. Are you good?
Yeah, sure case, man.
Yeah, okay. The first thing, this is just brushing off actually. Just the first thing I wanted to touch on. How do you feel, bruh, about the Bafana issue? I was thinking about this issue, the fact that we've been deducted 3 points and the circumstances in which we lost these 3 points. What's your view?
I mean, it's not like we haven't talked about it before, about Djibouti, you know, whose fault is it and what happened. But I had been reading as well about, even though you can say it's Safa's fault, but I was reading about how long it was ago when that first match happened. So the match that happened way Bafana played when they were not supposed to.
Yeah.
It was so long. And there had been so many things happening in between and so many other matches that had been played. I kind of understand why that, you know,
that's ended up happening.
Thing was forgotten.
Yeah,
I kind of understand. It feels like it's a human error that could have happened to anybody. But now, of course, here it is, Bafana minus 3 points after a long fight. Because I am sure, man, even started feeling like maybe we should deduct these points to these guys because a lot of people were complaining, which is fair.
Yeah.
Which is fair, because if it was someone else, Bafana would have also complained.
Yeah, true.
So I think there's no way to go back, man. We can have a conversation about it, we can argue back and forth, but I trust Bafana to win all their matches and actually, you know, make it through.
Yeah, true.
And that's all we can trust on.
Yeah, true. I'm also betting on that, to be fair. I also think we stand a good chance, and also we have a good team, actually. The guys are playing very well. I think we should be able to go through. I feel like the advantage to a certain extent is still with us, given who Benin has to play against. I'm just saying this, though, in regards to, because as much as we can say what you're saying, JC, but the truth is someone is still responsible for this. Someone is still responsible, should have had. Because right now we have so much technology, my man, that we shouldn't be in a space whereby we are going to play any game and we don't know who has a yellow card. I don't even understand how that happens, by the way, because isn't it that when we are going to play, we should be having a team meeting whereby this should be like checked as to which players we have available for every game. So I don't understand how that was missed, because I feel like when you go to every new game, we need to check yellow cards, who has a yellow card where. I feel like that's also, as much as this, what you are saying, because, okay, they say because it's been so long, but the point is the yellow cards are there and people were able to see that this person shouldn't play because they have a yellow card. Literally, this was seen, by the way, just after the game. That's another thing. It's not like it was seen like somehow. No, they knew that this guy played. You know, so this means we didn't check. Like, it's so weird because this used to happen so long ago, back in the days, but now technology has advanced so much, so it's so weird to have such a situation today in 2025 with the technology and with AI and all type of things. I think that's where the problem is.
No, I mean, of course, as much as it is a human error and it happened,
the reason
should be getting fired.
Yeah, someone should be getting fired. And that's another thing.
You should know.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. That's another thing, actually. The team manager, the person who's responsible for this, is a guy. His name is Vincent Ntega, when they say, right? And, you know, at first, you know, when they told me he's over 60 and whatnot, and I was asking myself, why in South Africa we still having such situation? Why is this guy still working and what's not, you know? Because when they say it's over 60, I think my mind also just went like it's an old Madala and stuff like that, and why are they there? That's what I thought, actually. But when I saw the guy, honestly, that's not the feeling of I felt. The guy doesn't even look 60, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, it's I think right now, of course, it's a matter of having conversations and seeing how can SA in the future not have the same problem.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, buddy. Yeah, Butini cause.
No, because I mean, we don't want to end up running on the same issue again later on.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, anyway, the biggest matter, moving on from Bafana, the biggest matter that I brought you on, because I felt like when I spoke to you, you seemed to be touched more by this matter. International news. Okay, everyone is talking about Steph Curry's wife, my man. What's her name again? What's her name? Can you say her name?
Aisha,
yes, Aisha Curry. Everyone is talking about her, and I feel like you are the one person that, for me, you've even sent me a message where you're like, yo, bruh, when I see this case, like even now when I see this thing of Aisha Curry, like it's really like fucks with you, you know, your perspective. What really bothers you so much about this case, especially in regards to her acting like this and the things that she said in regarding her marriage to Steph Curry and having a family?
Yeah, man. As I've noted and as I've told you, I've been reading and I followed this thing, and it annoyed me more than it bothered me. It annoyed me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure Aisha is probably like popular, she's famous, whatever. But I didn't know her outside of Steph Curry. That's the first thing I can state. You know, she's Steph Curry's wife, which, to be fair, I always hated that idea. When you have a partner, they are only known because you are probably mostly known or you are popular, which is, you know, we can say that's unfair. But now, in the current situation, the relationship that they have, and the thing that she says, after everything that he has done towards her and the family, I found it unfair. I found it, I don't know, but I don't know what word I can use. Is it narcissistic or whatever? But it's just, in a way, it's also disrespectful to the hard work Steph Curry has been putting towards the family. So it feels wrong to have said that on an open platform like that, and it was not a conversation that they should have had together as a couple, and find a way to go through it and have a discussion better like that, rather than go on a public platform where I don't even know what benefit you are getting from saying that. What was the benefit for her to say that out there in the world? There's no benefit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of annoying for her to have done that.
Especially around the fact, I think for me was when she said like Steph he doesn't understand, and yeah, I think I told you my feel. Like, I do not understand if you have access to such luxury, such finance, and let's say I have a passion for something, doesn't that opens the door for you to actually live out that passion? I mean, you can literally create an industry with the kind of dough that Steph Curry has. So for an example, if let's say as I said to you, let's say I want to be a teacher, or I'm a career-driven person, I wanted to be a nurse, you can literally build a hospital with the help of such financial backing. You can start any venture that you deem like suited for you, that you want. She has so much in her disposal to be able to achieve any dream that she might have wanted. And also this thing of making it like kids prevented her to pursuing things that she wanted, because that's what, when she talks about her kid turning 1, for an example, and then feeling like her daughter turning 1, and then feeling like she missed out on her thingy. You know, I was just, by the way, I'm just thinking this out loud right now, because right now also I'm trying to see her view, as in like, let's say I agree with her view, right? That maybe she wanted her own thing, to have her own career and to have, but you are in a position to pursue any venture. Like, you don't need to go and knock in doors and apply like us, the regular folks. You can literally start any venture with everything that is in your disposal. Yeah, for me that's the part I didn't understand.
I mean, you know, it's also a part of accountability, because she has removed so many things. For saying something so small, it has removed so many things, even how the relationship has been built. Like, you're gonna stand there and tell someone you never wanted to have a family and never wanted to kids or marriage with them.
Bro. Can you imagine, bro? Yeah, that's so sad, bro. I never wanted. Yo, that's so tough, dog. Because I don't know. It's just I think the biggest thing was. Yeah, we can see when you say she should, if they talk about this, they should have only spoken about it by themselves and kept it there at their house by themselves, not in public, bro. Yo, bruh, to say I never wanted to get married, I never wanted to have kids and family, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, that rubs off another. I wonder how Steph feels wherever he is, because that rubs off so wrong. I think I felt so cringe and I felt sorry actually at the same time for Steph, the fact that she was saying that out loud in a public platform. You know, because as you are saying, also the idea of accountability. Because I'm thinking, what was stopping her? She has such big access, dog. Like, what stopped her? Because like we have, how many women do we know that have kids and they have families, but they still go pursue their own things? Like, how many, bro? Like teachers that we grew up with teachers getting pregnant in the middle of the semester, going out and taking maternity leave and coming back, whatever, dog. Like, yeah, and Diana, she has access in a sense that she can literally hire people to take care of her kids while she's able to pursue other ventures for herself. Yeah, that was crazy, dog.
Well, why didn't she say this in the beginning so Steph can find another partner who wants that? Why didn't she do that? Because at the moment when obviously she was getting to get into a relationship with him, she was getting in a relationship with Steph Curry. She knew where her life was headed. He's a famous dude.
Yeah, she said no. She said though she wasn't. So she said she didn't know that Steph Curry was gonna end up being a big and famous basketball player when they started dating. To her point, she didn't know that. She just knew him. He plays basketball, and Steph Curry used to say he's gonna be a high school basketball coach. You know, that's like if you know. Obviously, I don't think he was thinking if things works out or not. I'm just saying Steph Curry used to say that to her. Like his career path is to be like a high school basketball coach. That's what he wanted to be, basically. You know. Then she just didn't anticipate the whole thing ended up happening with him.
And man, I even screenshotted someone had posted something regarding this topic. I think it's called Daphne's Accountability. It's like a Facebook page. She was saying, I think she said the confession highlights the paradox of modern comfort. When a woman is given the world but still demands the stars. You know, and then at the end, and they go in the right, there's a fine line between transparency and emotional examination. Marriage is not content, it's a component. Publicly unpacking private resentment erodes respect faster than fame builds it. She keeps mistaking oversharing for empowerment. Some thoughts are meant for your partner, not a podcast. And that's very true. It's this thing, it's this fine line between feeling that you are empowering yourself by speaking out like this publicly, especially in my podcast. But it's not empowering because it destroys so many things that you are not aware of, and which clearly she has.
Yo, any man.
Yeah, man. I just wonder how he feels, Nabella. I just wonder.
That's a tough one, my man. Anyway, buddy, thank you, bro. Let's close it here, my man. Thank you for coming through, my man.
Showcase, dog.
Okay, sure, dog, sharp. Elephants in the room. We're gonna close it there today, and thank you everyone for subscribing. Please subscribe, guys. Press the like button. Okay, let's go to work. Salute. Smooth talk. Nyabonga talk. I just went over like the 1 hour mark by like 1 minute 40 seconds. Showcase, bro.